Hi to all. Welcome to Chapter 8, Part 3. Before the performance management system is implemented formally, it is good idea to test a version of the entire system so that adjustment and revision can be made as needed. In the pilot test of the system, evaluations are not recorded in employees' file. However, the system is implemented in its whole from beginning to end, including all the steps that would be included if the system had actually been implemented. In other words, meeting take place between supervisor and employee, perform, performance data are gathered, developmental plan are designed, and feedback is provided. We should not assume that the performance management system will necessarily be executed or that it will produce the anticipated results. The pilot test allow us to gain information from the perspective of the system user on how well the system works, to learn about any difficulties and unforeseen obstacles, to collect recommendation on how to improve all aspects of the system, and to understand personal reaction to it. In addition, conducting a pilot test is yet another way to achieve early acceptance from a small group who can then act as champion for the PMS, rather than putting the burden on the HR department to sell the idea. A final reason for conducting a pilot test is that end users are likely to have a higher system acceptance rate, knowing that stakeholder in the company had a say in its design, rather than feeling that the system was created by the HR department alone. An important decision to be made is the selections of a group of employees with whom the system will be tested. In choosing this group, we need to understand that the managers who will be participating should be willing to invest the resources required to do the pilot test. In addition, this group should be made up of managers who are flexible and willing to try new things. Managers should know what the system will look like and receive a realistic preview before they decide to participate in the pilot test. Thus, in selecting the group, we should select jobs that are similar to those throughout the company, and the group selected should not be an exception in either a positive or a negative way. Pilot tests provide crucial information to be used in improving the system before it is put in place. Pilot testing the system can provide huge saving and identify potential problems before they become irreversible and the credibility of the system is ruined permanently. When the testing period is over and the PMS has been implemented organization wide, it is important to use clear measurement to monitor and evaluate the system. In a nutshell, a decision needs to be made about how to evaluate the system effectiveness, how to evaluate the extent to which the system is being implemented as planned, and how to evaluate the extent to which it is producing the intended result. When the system is implemented, bear in mind how to evaluate system effectiveness, how to measure implementation, how to measure result. Evaluation data to look into the reaction to the system, assessment of operational and technical requirements, and effectiveness of performance ratings. Several additional measures can be used regularly to monitor and evaluate the system. First, number of individuals evaluated. One of the most basic measures is to assess the number of employees who are participating in the system. Next, distributions of performance ratings. An indicator of quality of the performance assessment is whether all or most score are too high, too low, or clumped around the center of the distribution. Quality of information. Another indicator of the quality of the performance assessment is the quality of information provided in the open-ended sections of the forms. Quality of follow-up action. A good indicator of the quality of the system is whether it leads to important follow-up actions in terms of development activities or improved processes. Quality of performance discussion meeting. A confidential survey can be distributed to all employees regularly to gather information about how the supervisor is managing the performance discussion meetings. System satisfaction. A confidential survey could also be distributed to assess the perceptions of the system user, both raters and ratees. Overall cost. A simple way to address the overall impact of the system is to ask participants to rate the overall cost or benefit ratio for the performance management system. And last but not least, unit level and organization level performance. Another indicator that the system is working well is provided by the measurements of unit and organization level performance. The implementations of many of the interventions described in this chapter can be facilitated by doing so online. For example, the communication plan can include email as well as electronic newsletters. There can also be a website dedicated to the PMS that include updates regarding the system. How effective are online PMS in practice? An important advantage of implementing performance management online is that the system can be linked to other HR functions, such as training and selection. Apart from that, here are the list of its advantages: automations, speed up processes, lower costs, gather and disseminate information faster and more effectively. The system can be linked to other HR functions and easy to monitor. One important issue to keep in mind is that online tools are simply a types of medium. On the other hand, systems that are not implemented following best practices will not improve by using online components. Online implementation may lead to highly undesirable outcome. More complicated system that is simply a big waste of time and resources for all those involved. With that, thank you and have a great day.